Hi everyone, I'm Peaceful Nick the Medium and welcome back. Today we're going to talk about tips for sitters. So a sitter is a client in mediumship that is getting a message or information from their loved one in spirit. And I, in that case, would be the medium. So we have a medium and a sitter, and we need to work on what that relationship is like. So the medium should come in with a very calm and peaceful attitude, right? They should make the sitter feel comfortable, and the sitter should do some things as well, like take some deep breaths, focus on what's happening and not get distracted. So I'm just going to go through and casually talk about some of the things that I encounter a lot when I'm doing mediumship and when my sitters aren't prepared. Now, mind you, most sitters are new to mediumship, so they're not aware that these are some things that will help them to get a better reading. So, number one, sometimes the person you hope to connect with is not the person that comes through first. I did a reading recently where the person they were hoping to connect with came through after the person they didn't want to connect with. But there was a specific reason in that relationship why the first person came through and then the person they wanted to talk to was brought through. There was an apology in that scenario. So whenever you're getting a reading, don't be upset if the first person who shows up isn't the one you want to talk to, because sometimes they need to come through for a very important and specific reason. So please, if you're a sitter, be open to the possibility that anybody can come through. Now, you always have the option in readings to say, no, I don't want to talk to that person. And that is perfectly okay. As a sitter, your medium should always allow you to say, no, thank you. I don't want to talk to that person. And the medium should say, okay, and ask the spirit to step back. And that's perfectly normal and natural. And I allow it in my readings, and it's fine. It's fine by me. And it should be fine for all mediums. Mediumship should be healing. It should not be threatening or painful. Another tip is sitters sometimes have psychic amnesia. And what that means is they're so excited for the reading or they're so anxious for the reading that they can't remember things. I actually had a woman come in to talk to her fiance. Well, he showed up immediately. He knew she wanted to talk to him. He was there. I gave the description, and that was him. But she was so nervous, she didn't recognize the clues right off the bat. So I asked this person to step back, and I didn't know that's who she wanted to talk to until later. And I asked them to step back, and then someone else came forward. And then right after the reading, about an hour later, she emailed me and she's like, I'm so embarrassed. That was my fiance that showed up, but I was so nervous. I didn't recognize the signs he was giving me. But after the reading, I realized, yes, that was him. So then, she had another reading later and everything worked out. So always make sure you're calm and you're thinking clearly. And if you don't understand the first couple pieces of evidence, it's not because the medium's not doing their job. It's because maybe you just don't recognize it because you're anxious or nervous. Another tip for sitters is make sure you're in a quiet place free of distractions. I get a lot of sitters who call me from their car, and there's different reasons for that. But as long as you have a clear internet signal or phone signal, I'm perfectly fine with doing readings if you're in a car. But sometimes they have their dogs jumping on them, or their dogs barking, or they have a kid in the back that's crying. And it's like, I personally don't mind animals and kids. I just know that it can be distracting for some mediums. So if you are in a car or if you have kids and animals jumping all over you, you probably want to make arrangements ahead of time to be in a quiet place free of any distractions, whether you're in the car or at home or in your office at work, hiding from your boss. Don't do that. Also, take deep breaths. So when you're doing a mediumship reading, you want to be calm and relaxed ahead of time. You want to take some cleansing breaths through your nose and out the mouth, and you want to really be open to receive any messages that are going to come through. So you want to be calm and cool and collected. I had a reading one time where the person was so anxious and so excited. Before I went into the reading, all my electronics in my house went crazy. Like the TV wouldn't turn off, the volume went up. Like this never happened before or since then. But the volume on the TV went up. It wouldn't turn off. It wouldn't turn off with the remote. It wouldn't turn off when I touched the button. Because you know, those TVs now, they have a button on the back to turn them off. And then I had to unplug the TV before I could go into my office and do the reading. And when I got there, the sitter was so anxious that the reading went off the rails, completely off the rails. And another tip, that same person had someone else in the room behind the camera that I couldn't see. So I was getting all kinds of interference from the other person's people in spirit who were trying to come through and talk. So another tip is only bring people into the room if you have permission from the medium, because we're trying to make a connection. And if we don't know someone else is there, you're not going to be able to take the evidence if it's for the other person in the room that we don't know is there. So these are some tips and tricks for being calm, being in a peaceful place, thinking clearly. Now, it's not your fault if you can't remember every detail someone gives you. I'm not saying that, but just try to breathe and relax and be in a nice, quiet place when you are getting a reading. It will help the medium and it will help you and the connection to the spirit world. I'm Peaceful Nick, the medium. Please like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate everyone who has watched my videos, who has subscribed to my channel, and I will see you soon.